Hi, and welcome back to our long series of flight videos. It's been quite a while, actually. Mostly partially due to holidays. Obviously with COVID, it was a distant holidays, but at least I was able to catch up with friends and family with modern technology. And in the last few months, not a few months, I'm going to say 2-3 months, I think, they did a big update for the USA. Obviously I did stuff covering the Japan updates you see here. But they did a big USA update, and a few notes before I kind of dig in. I was going to do something out west. There's a couple of patterns I saw the update. It seemed to be very, I would say, I mean, one, they had quite a few airports, but it seemed to be more, I would say, natural, like, sites. There's always some builds like Fort Knox, but like look at Chicago, they didn't add anything here. They didn't go and like redid the arch, which I've seen. There's some stuff like, but here you go, like, Monument Rocks National, obviously Monument Value, Nava Bridge. They did finally did the Hoover Dam update that. I think the Grand Canyon was pretty good, but I think they made it better. You see like, Chimney Rock look very natural, and obviously there's some, like I would say, I guess notable structures, and that isn't really, say, in a city, like a skyscraper, but like maybe like like some monuments and stuff, or as I mentioned, Hoover Dam. These bridges are kind of stand out, which is all nice and all. I hope they will do more updates down the road where, like, I've flown around the arch and it looks okay. It'd be nice to have like that full detail of that. That's a very narrow-minded right there, but it's like, if we can do this castle or some rocks, very well, I might add you. Or even Fort Knox, why not the arch? Why not have proper downtown Chicago, where some of it looks fine and the others look really dicey. And then did a couple in Hawaii as well. But anyway, it's a good update. I'm really curious to see what the next one is and just down the road. So what I was thinking of doing, I was going to do Mount Rushmore. So when I fly, I'm going to actually switch planes here. This is going to be it's a little longer than it looks, and I'll explain that in a second. Sorry, I want a turboprop. We'll do that one. Perfect. Ooh, wait a minute. I think I got my liveries back, too. Yeah, hold on. What livery should we go with today? Ooh, this is actually, this is the Aviators Club library. This is actually out of the Microsoft Store. These others are from a mega library pack you can download. But anyway, let's get started. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to fly over Mount Rushmore, see Crazy Horse, and then over here should be the Badlands, which kind of sticks out there. Yeah, this should be the Badlands right here. I'm curious to see how this looks from the air, and then we'll probably wrap it up there. Also, one of the issues I was having, I had to reinstall the whole game. It was just starting to crash randomly, and I couldn't tell it was one of the downloadable contents, or obviously with all the updates, I know there's usually always some instability for some people and stuff. I ended up reinstalling. It's just been over time. It's taken a while to get everything kind of back up to speed because of that, especially with all these packs and downloads. And the other thing, I really wanted to get in there. I wanted the library packs, and that took a long time, but it's just more just getting stable. I was actually messing with the graphics again, and for this video, I'm going to keep it straight on medium with no changes. I was testing earlier, and it was fine, but there'd be a couple, it's just random, there'd be moments where it just struggles. Obviously, it always kind of does this in the loading screen for some reason. Oh, great, did that. The little spawn issue. So, why is this not working? I don't know, plug in the controller. Sorry, it seems like the controller just stopped working. There it is. Alright. Yeah, it was weird. Oh, it was turned off. Alright, my bad. I thought it would stay on. Anyway, let's just, we're going to use this prop plane. Hopefully I won't have issues. It is a good plane, but sometimes it's a little hard to control at lower altitudes. But I did want something faster because it's, I was testing this earlier with one of the propellers. And Mount Rushmore is near Rapid City, but it's not like next to it. It's a good 30, 40 miles, I think, which isn't far, but you know, it's a quite a bit of minutes, and it's kind of like dead space time. So, ooh, I like this. That's a beautiful library. And it's a free one too. Oh yeah, need to hold this up. This keeps spawning, like, start going left. So I have been to Mount Rushmore and the Badlands, Black Mountains, and Rapid City. It's a nice area. It's kind of interesting too. So like you look around here, it actually looks really flat. But remember, we're pretty high elevated in this region of the country too. Like you see here, I have to fix it. I mean, we're not super high up, and this is already 4,000 feet. So it gives you an idea just kind of how high up this part of the country is. But anyway, but Rapid City, nice little city, nothing major. What we're gonna do, so the best way, I know Mount Rushmore, so this is like Rapid City right through here, and then like these roads, like there's a couple here, but like these roads kind of like lead you to Mount Rushmore. We're gonna be hugging this region. It should pop up eventually. It's not too, it's like southeast of this lake. And then after that, the Badlands should be, actually, I can't remember what river this is. This is I-90, I believe, and it should be around this area. It's pretty massive, so we should be able to find it. Alright, let's lower this a bit. See if we can get this stable. Turn this out. I'm gonna have to leave this on. I'm gonna move this up in the corner. See if that makes it a little better. Anyway, this is Rapid City. You know, nice little sized city. I think it's about 50, 60,000 people, I believe. I can actually look that up while we're turning. Now that airport we flew out, that is their main airport in this area. Not very big, obviously. I want to say they have a couple. There's a few. I want to say there's a couple flights that's all year round. I'm pretty sure United. I'll look it up in a second. Well, I'm going to take a guess, and then we'll double check to confirm. I'm going to say United from Denver, maybe San Francisco, and then I say Delta from Seattle would be the flights. But anyway, let's take a look at Rapid City. So I said 67. It says about 67,000 here. You can kind of tell. Yeah, nice little sized city. Can't tell you what really the industry is out here. I mean, it's probably more outdoorsy tourism, I would assume. Obviously, with the Mount Rushmore nearby, that'd be the big thing. And of course, it's a great outdoors area. Now, the only thing I will say, I don't know. This is live weather right now, so it's nice and partly cloudy. I don't know if they had snow. The one thing I've seen with this game that hasn't really done well. I'm being a little harsh for this wording. But one thing this game, so it'll capture snow with live weather, but it doesn't seem to capture it on the ground. I've made it work a couple times where I saw areas were snowing, I turned it on. Like, I mainly turned on the snow, and when I turned it off, it kind of stayed. It was a little weird, you know, just kind of messing around with it. Hopefully, you know, that'd be something probably difficult, but I hope they can get better at it, like, at least with the live weather. Sorry about that. That's just Reddit's notifications. Alright, we're gonna go south. Yeah, let's see here. But anyway, hopefully it gets better at it, because I do think there's a lot of potential. Like, you know, it'd be cool to see, like, I've seen it with landing challenges and stuff, like, they'll show, like, you know, snow on the ground and stuff, and it's beautiful. Like, they did one at Jacksonville, Wyoming as a landing challenge with snow on the ground. The runway was clear. It was just, like, after, you know, snowstorm in recent days, and it was beautiful. You know, and it looks beautiful when they do add it, or when you can add it, like, let's see what happens if I do this. We have a little time here. Alright, I remember, let's do that. Yeah, see, this is just to give you, see, this is what it could look like. And it's beautiful. And, you know, it's simple, it's just more like a white layer, I believe. But it, just the reflections and stuff, it's just breathtaking. That said, we're going to go back to live. So, I think there could have been snow here recently. The only reason I'm saying this is we've had snow in Chicago and a lot of parts of the Midwest right now. Not like a blizzard by any means, but good, you know, let's say, you know, like a few inches here and there and so forth. And there's been fronts moving through the last. Like, it's very common to have snow this time of year up in the upper Great Plains of the Midwest. Now, let's take a look at. Now, as I was saying, back to the airport. The regional airport. That means you don't get an international flight to Canada. Oh, real quick, let's go over some geography. So, like I said though, but you go in these mountains like just south of Rapid City, it's breathtaking through here. Oh, there's Mount Rushmore. Wow, we went. This was a lot faster at this point. I'm gonna try my best to get as low as I can, because I know it can easily crash this plane if I'm not careful. There we go. It's see. This is not the easiest plane to control for low flying altitudes, in my opinion. Real quick though, I gotta pull out the Rapid City Airport. So I was right. United Denver. They do seasonal Chicago. That's more of a. Actually, I don't know. That could be winter. There's a lot of skiing. I think there's skiing in this region for sure. Oh, I take that back. That's United. United Express flies year round. So that Chicago is on that list. Delta, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Oh, I was wrong. Not Seattle. So yeah, St. Paul. And even American flies Chicago. So you know, some decent flights. Alright, I think we're pretty stable. We'll do a pause up ahead. We'll go west. Apparently, there's another monument just west of here we should see. But these are the, yeah, kind of like the, I think they call it the Black Mountains or Black Hills. Let's take a look in a second so I'm not butchering this. Let's pause it right there. Alright. The good news, look at that. We're so stable, this plane is not going to crash during pause. It is Black Hills. Hold on. Okay, so this is the Black Hills they call it, not the Black Mountains. I apologize. Alright, but anyway. I'm going to go. Let's get rid of this. Let's do a showcase. We'll do a quick showcase camera. Oh, I love that. Well, that sounds horrible. Hold on, let's get closer. Alright. Yeah, we can... What about right there? Alright, I think we have a little time. Let's be careful. 'Cause I know how picky this is. That is very detailed. Look at that. Beautiful. And they even got the whole visitor center here. There's obviously a history of here when it's founded. I think Teddy Roosevelt's the one that picked this site. You know, this is really the beginning of the establishment of the National Park Service that we know today. You know, one of my favorite programs, definitely, that the U.S. government like federally runs and provides. Yeah, we'll go a little bit. Just enjoy that. It's a very beautiful area. I remember when we came in. Yeah, this was me and my dad years ago. Probably almost a decade ago already. But anyway, we're coming in from Vegas, went to Salt Lake, and then we went through the Dakotas. But towards the end, you kind of go through, you know, eastern Southern Dakota, and you start going into Idaho. You know, actually, no, this is South Dakota, right? Yeah, I'm sorry. This is South Dakota. I'm thinking Wyoming. Sorry. Going to Wyoming into South Dakota. And it's very boring, that part of Wyoming. Like and all of a sudden you start going in here, so you kind of see it's a mountain range, but it's not massive. Like it's really just like this little area here. It feels like, and you kind of go in there. Yeah, it's kind of flat, a little hilly, but then it really starts to pick up, and you get this beautiful tree coverage and stuff. And you got lakes and stuff. I mean, it's a very beautiful mountain range, but it's not massive compared to like some of the other ones in the U.S. or world, I should say. And obviously, this area is very touristy. I say outdoors, like camping and stuff for sure, but I'm not sure about the skiing in it. Like, because I know since it's kind of more of like a national forest and. Alright, let's. Just like a national forest and everything. I'm not entirely sure how much. Ah, there it is. This is the other landmark over there. Crazy Horse Memorial. I did not see this actually. We mostly stuck with Mount Rushmore, and then we did the Badlands. It was just like it was a cross-country trip back to, we're out west and going back home, so we're kind of cross-country back east, but, we did make a side trip over here. And then after this, we'll go east, and we should find the Badlands. I will need this map, though, just in case, but we'll, well, actually, I'll kind of use that. Highly recommend people come out here once. It's just, Mount Rushmore aside, which is very cool, it's just a beautiful area to go through. And you got the Badlands too. Like it's very. This is when you think of like the, not the Wild West. You think of like the West. The mountainous west of the U.S. This is very picture perfect. Like there's only a few other areas in the country I think that come close. Probably parts of Colorado, Utah, and I would say right here in the Badlands would be my big three. Yeah, so this Crazy Horse Memorial, I can pause it. I am honestly not too familiar with it. It looks like there's a visitor center right there. Let's see here. When I think of Crazy Horse, I think of the Neil Young group. I'm just taking a quick look what this is. Oh, there's a face here. It's a monument under. Oh, it's not even open yet, I think. Oh no, it started. Never mind. There's a master plan. Interesting. So yeah, it's supposed to honor the Native Americans. Well, I think I see it. Hold on. Let's get. I won't be able to get much closer without risking the plane. But let's pause. Okay, good. I can't. This game will crash. Sorry, the plane will crash if you're not careful on pause screen. Whoa, did that just load? It did. Okay, so that's why it seemed weird. So yeah, that's a Crazy Horse right there. This little monument. So I had to pull this up. I actually did not know about this, believe it or not. So they started building this in the 40s. But it's still like, it says, like, I don't get it. They're still working on it? It has been in progress since 1948 and is far from completion. Oh my god. I can talk about funny and stuff, but like 60 years? Come on. Actually, no. That's, 72 years. 72 years. 72 years? Now, the monument looks kind of cool, but I think it's going to be, right now, it's just a head. Yeah, so you kind of see here. I apologize, I can't get down. I wish, anyway. Yeah, unfortunately, I need to get lower, but it's really hard at this point. But I just want to get, yeah, so it's like this head here. I guess this part they've been trying to monument out, but they haven't done anything, apparently, or not in a while. Now, it looks like there's at least a visitor center over here. So, I think the least is something here. And the thing is, this might be the road, like, because Mount Rushmore is back over here. But the roads around here aren't that good. Like, I mean, let me rephrase that. They're paved and all that. What I mean by good, because of the mountains, they're going around it. You know, it's way too costly to drill all these tunnels to the mountains. So you're going around all these, like over here, it's like a valley, you know, a little town probably. I know there's a couple of towns in this area. You know, there's one here between. So it may not have a good direct route either from Mount Rushmore. Like, okay, so here's the monument. This is obviously dead ends here and part of it, but there's a major, looks like a major road over here. I want to say this would probably get you back towards Boise, but yeah, remember it's all really limited with the geography here. This is very interesting. All right, interesting they picked this one too. And the reason I say that because it's not completed, and I'm wondering how many people know about this. So from the looks of it, they did a pretty good job considering where it is at right now in terms of this never-ending project. And what a shame! It really needs to be done. You know, obviously the dark history of the U.S. You know, between the U.S. and the Native Americans, like they should at least get this done for them. You know, like have a monument and so forth. Here's Custer. I know that's a town. So, yeah, I'm still going south. We're at 9,000 feet. Now, you can tell we're at a good elevation, but definitely not super high. Yeah, considering the elevation here. Yeah, I hope they finish that. That's one. I wish I knew about that then. I mean, you look at these pictures of it. Yeah, once in, more recent, it's like, it looks like there's construction all around it. Huh. And I'm looking through here. Yeah, they have a completed vision. Nowhere near close, apparently. So, I don't think the park's running. Yeah, so I think this is a privately funded memorial. So that's probably why. It's kind of a shame. This should, I think it'd be a good national park addition. I mean, it's just kind of like how they built the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial in D.C. They've done stuff for World War II, Vietnam. I think it's time we at least pay our respects. To the negative side. The U.S. has never been perfect. We've made mistakes before, and treated the Native Americans poorly, and we should at least maybe a couple more, like a nice memorial like that, and these hills would be perfect for them, especially because this was their territory at the time. Anyway, that being made, I won't go further down that. That'd be a long discussion, and let's just enjoy the scenery, which is breathtaking. So, this will take a little while, but the Badlands should be, let's say, over here. Like, it'd be east of Rapid City by 650-ish. So, it's weird. From Mount Rushmore to the Badlands is 70-ish miles, but that's by road, which takes you quite a bit far south. Then you can go east because of the mountains. So, directly, it's probably about 30, 40 miles. But we can start seeing the geography change a bit. See, it's going to get a little more arid. I didn't know there was a... what are we doing? That's a little runway over there. So, let's pull it up. I'm kind of want to understand. It's not here. It's a very unique very unique kind of like national rock formation. And I want to know why though. So let's see here. Yeah. So. Yeah, we're heading right towards it. Because this river is kind of... Yeah, it should be, because I think this is I-90. It's kind of like right off of it. But we'll see how it looks. And really high. We're going to lower this a bit. Ooh. You see, we're pretty much out of the Black Mountains now. You know, it's kind of like the... I don't think this is actually part of it, technically. It might be. This would be the tail end right here. You kind of see it's more flat. And it gets a little more arid, too. It's not like a desert by any means, but it's like very... Like, if you ever drive through here, it's a lot of plains. Very harsh winters, especially because, like, there's signs on I-90 there saying how the interstates could be closed during certain blizzards or weather of the year. Not many places in the country you'll see that, especially for a major interstate, because it's kind of a... let's see, I can't... To put it this way, 90 goes to Chicago all the way out east. It's a very major east-west interstate throughout the U.S. I think it's I-90. Let me check. He's also have I-80. For my maps. No, I'm right. Yep, I-90. Does it go to Seattle? Yeah, so 90 goes to Seattle to Boston, I believe. Yeah, so it's a major further, like kind of like Interstate 10 on the southern side. Nice and steady. Ooh, so that's a SkyWest plane. Now the thing is with that, so SkyWest also does a lot. They do contracts like with United. It's really weird. You ever look at the tickets? I'll say you like United Express, and it says operated by SkyWest. So it makes you wonder if that is one of the major airlines that SkyWest operating that we have. You know, they're basically like, it's like an outsource. It's like really weird. You know, it's like branded as United American. You get miles for them, uniforms, but then it's like operated by these regional partners, like regional. So they're national companies, but they operate as regional airlines, like for SkyWest. There's a couple. I think one's like Air Wisconsin, I think. Yeah, so this is gonna be the long part, and that's why I got this plane to go a little fast. Let's get it back up to speed. You can see a rapid change from where we were in terms of the topography and the layout. Like, you know, it was very mountainous. Now it's kind of more flattish. You know, obviously you got some hills and stuff, but definitely not like the mountains like we saw. A lot more arid. You don't really have your trees here. It's more plains. There's farming out here. I can't speak what was probably the main crop of this area. So we should be hitting them in a few minutes, I feel like. And again, you know, I'm keeping this in real time with the flying, so I didn't want to like fast forward. And one thing, they didn't mark it, so it means they didn't touch it. However, since it is very, you know, it's kind of like the Grand Canyon. Like, you know, that was done by the CGI. That was done by the AI. And it was really well done, and I'm curious to see how this looks. Obviously, over time, they may touch it, you know, just like make it smoother, because there'll be parts of the Grand Canyon look kind of rough. Like, you get the topography right, but then it's like the rocks are kind of, you know, like dicey, while like compare to like Mount Rushmore or even Crazy Horse with the medium settings, you can tell it's very detailed and pristine, you know, compared to the... Yeah, and it makes sense. It's a lot. You're trying to render the whole world, so you got to be mindful what they're trying to do. So, all right, let's pull up. So, according to this, The Badlands are somewhere right around here. So this is I-90. I know this because the layout matches it. And I've done this earlier of other just running around. So we should be really close. We might be seeing it right now, or the outskirts. So I say, let's just turn this a little to the right. Let's do a cockpit view. Just slightly. I do like this plane a lot, honestly. It's just, as you saw earlier, it's really hard to get low. I want to say we're close. Because this kind of looks like it. But it looks very uneventful from here. Again, this is like the outskirts. Like, obviously, where the main part of the park is where it looks really cool. But again, this could be hard. Like, these aren't tall. Like, these aren't... Badlands isn't like mine. It's just really cool rock formations. It's like, almost like... kind of like a bunch of little cannons, I guess. It's really hard to describe. It's really unique. It's probably one of the most unique things I've seen from a natural point. I would have thought to be. So anyway, if we cross this interstate and I don't see anything that really stands out, then it means. Yeah. So there's these little rivers. Yeah, so this should be really close. Now, granted, the Badlands is a pretty big area, so I think this could be a part of it. But the cool rock formations being like around over here, I believe, if it's able to render. And I'm down about 60. Trying to stay around 6,000 feet would be good. I think the elevation's got to be at least. It's 35 to 4,000 feet, I would say. Hey, yeah, so you got some farming. I mean, you can tell it's kind of unique looking here, especially with the little rivers. Through here, roads. All right. We're gonna hug this river. So I do want to say this river is a main reason for the Badlands, I believe. Actually, we're going to continue going straight. Yeah. So far, it's not looking good, to be honest. I expect a little more. Granted, I'm probably not right there yet. I mean, we're getting close. And it's a decent sized natural wonder. Pick up speed. They actually dropped quite a bit. So the good news, I guess, when I turn on the graphics again, I have not had any stability issues. And the game looks good in media, but man, it's like when I have pushed it briefly, it looks so, it's amazing how gorgeous this game looks if you can truly run it. Alright, I mean, can't tell the formation here is a little unique. Ooh, wait a minute, is that it over here? That white area? Yeah, and it should be like a white, I think light brown's anyway. It's like a whitish rock formation. This might be it over here, actually. Alright. There's something. Let's see how this looks from the air. I know I'll land. I may just cut it off. Sometimes I just don't feel like landing, just like save a little time. It's already kind of good sized video. Ooh. All right, this might be a here. I thought it was a lot bigger actually. It looks bigger on the map. Wait, it's a good. Actually, let's do this. Let's see. If you know what I'm doing, I have a phone on my side. Fine, just give me a visitor center. So from the Rapid City Airport to the eastern edge of the Badlands, it is a 70-mile flight. I'm pretty sure this is it up here. This looks more right. So, wow, I actually thought it was a little closer. That ain't bad. Just kind of a nice little, give you an idea of you guys. Anyway, highly recommend you go this part of the country. Spend a few days. You don't have to be there a week, but a good 3-ish, 4 days. Really take in the sights, and especially the scenery is beautiful. If you like hiking and stuff, outdoors, plenty of that, camping. And, Rapid City is not a bad little city. They have a cool old, kind of like, I would say old downtown. There's no skyscrapers or anything tall buildings, but, you got like the old brick buildings and stuff. You can tell it's like an old trading city. Part of the Wild West one time. This is it. This is it right here. As you see, I'm trying to play my best to get low and not crash the plane by accident. Alright. There's an airport nearby. Alright, so I'll do my best to explain. Alright, I cannot truly explain why the topography is very unique here. But I can tell you, one, at least from here, you can tell it's very unique, because we're not really in the mountains, but it almost looks like these little mini mountains here. And this doesn't do justice, but in between, it's like a lot of these little canyons. It's very crazy. It's very rocky. It's just a very unique area. It's really hard to describe. I recommend you look up the Badlands National Park. Let's see if I can pull up. Yeah, butts and spires were formed through the geological. Okay, so basically, deposition erosions what created this park. So these rocks were deposits really 75 million years ago and began eroding just 500,000 years ago. That is wild. Let's look at it. This does not do justice. It looks cool from here, trust me. But when you see it in person, it's very cool. A lot of arcs, just a lot of, the erosion made it very cool. Yeah, and it's just this little area. I actually thought it was a lot bigger. Alright, this is big. Let me rephrase that. This is not small by any means. But compared to how we flew over the Black Hills, this feels very small compared to that. Should I try that? Try to fill up the airport? Yeah, we'll try landing this. Oh, here it is. Oh, good lord. It says it's an airport, but I don't see anything here. We're going to do an emergency landing. There we go. It took forever to get this out. Alright, we're gonna see how this goes and win the video. But yeah, see? This does a little more justice very low, but nothing like in person. I highly recommend it. You just tell from here it looks very unique. What is the airport? That does not look like a runway. Oh, that isn't at the airport. It's a landing strip, I think. Oh, this looks like a crop dusting landing strip. Well, it now just got a turboprop plane. Alright, we can just ignore that. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. I thought I was just doing something kind of different and unique. So, take care and Happy New Year.